SRBMedia.
Good afternoon, Matt. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, mate. And you?
Good, and welcome all to a midweek chat with Matt. Now, during the World Cup, we were talking about, we were watching the World Cup like everybody, and there was a
Yep.
sumo wrestling game when England played Panama, and a game of football branched out from it. And we were talking about VAR and how you said, and I agreed, that it's not going to change the game. It's not going to stop the arguments or the debate. It's actually going to add to it. And as always, you were 100% right, Matt.
It does appear that way. That certainly so far this season, that there has been a lot of airtime on media channels devoted to the subject of VAR, and I think if it was implemented better, properly, there would be less chat about it. But I think at the moment the PGMOL have just got it a little bit wrong, and are still finding their feet and trying to find the best place for it to come to rest.
And let's rewind pre the World Cup, because we've all watched the game. I mean, you've played it at the highest level. We've all played the game at some level. And we've all watched Match of the Day and seen goals that should have been goals that were disallowed because the linesman had got his flag up, or contentious decisions when it was a straight red and the referee didn't see it. So I think most of us football fans were in agreement that we did need VAR to come into the game. But I think you're right. It's just the way they've applied VAR to the Premier League games, isn't it?
Yeah, I think for me, I think they've tried to run before they can walk.
Yep.
I've always said right from the start that the first season it should have been just to deal with the offside situation.
Yep.
And yes, I appreciate that there is some margin of error in the offsides, but the one thing that it does do is it makes it the same for every club. Every club gets the same margin of error, so it's consistent in its rulings, and I think that's what we really want from officials. I think if you can get some kind of consistency, everybody would be happy.
Let's start with that offside rule. It was changed because some time ago it was fresh air, wasn't it, between the striker and the defender, and now
I don't think it was ever a law. I don't think that was ever actually a law. The fresh air, the daylight between the defender and the attacker. I think many years ago it was benefit of the doubt to the attacker.
Yep.
But I don't think it was ever in law that there was a daylight rule.
Could we change it back to that rule that wasn't a rule, that we do want daylight? Because some of these decisions are so contentious, it's beyond belief, in as much as it looks as though if someone's got a slightly bigger boot, or someone's in a slightly different position where their body goes to the ball and addresses the ball, and it just is such a grey and contentious area that we could do with it really being defined as to what really is offside and what really is onside.
Well, it is defined at the moment, because they stop the ball, the camera at the time that the ball is on the foot of the guy making the pass.
Yeah.
And then they measure whether or not he's offside or not. I don't really see how changing the line of where you draw for offside is actually going to change any arguments about it. You know, you're either offside or you're not. If you have a daylight rule, there's going to come a time when somebody's going to go, well, there's daylight there, but it's only a millimetre of daylight, or there isn't any daylight, but it's only like a millimetre of non-daylight. Surely we should be allowing that as well. You just change the place where you have the argument, and that seems a bit pointless to me. You might as well have it bang on the line where you go, well, that's offside, and that's not offside. The argument about the foot being bigger than someone else's foot, I don't. That for me is a nil argument, because what if a ball gets played across the front of the box and the bloke with the size 9s manages to get a toe on it and puts it in, but the bloke with the size 7s, who's the defender, he's getting penalised because he's got smaller feet. So it's all right to have big feet when you want to score a goal, but it's not okay to have bigger feet when you're offside.
Fair comment, Matt. Fair comment. But again, as a fan, I was just hoping that it was the clear and obvious offsides, where I've been to games, I've seen games, and the linesman's put his flag up, and the goal's been scored, it's been ruled out, and then when you've looked at it, the player was onside. And I thought it was just going to be for that clear and obvious, not the
No,
minuscule.
clear and obvious. Yeah, clear and obvious that doesn't apply to offside. So
No.
offside is black and white. You're either offside or you're onside. There's no in between. There's no grey areas, and it's the same for everyone. So get on with it. Is my humble opinion.
Stockley Park, have you been there?
Yes.
What's it like?
It was all right. Yeah, we had to go on the VAR with an incident that they put up on the telly for us, and let us have a look back at it and make a decision on it. It was quite good fun, actually. I quite enjoyed it.
Now, when we was talking last time, we were both in agreement that with the VAR, there should be a former pro in there looking at some of the decisions, some of the
Yep.
contentious decisions, i.e.
Yep.
when Jack Grealish got pulled up at Crystal Palace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when he dived but passed the ball to Henry Lansbury, which is a stroke of genius because there's not many players can actually dive over and pass the ball. Surely a pro there would have says, look, you're absolutely wrong. It's impossible for a player to do that.
I think there's been a few incidents this season where a professional player would have known what was going on, and perhaps officials who don't see through the game through the eyes of the players, they don't sometimes understand what's happened. One of them involved my team against Wolves. When Dozy went through into the box, he ends up kicking the back of Højbjerg's calf and then falling over, and the referee gives a penalty. And he was the one that initiated contact. Now, I, as a player, know exactly what he's done there because I've done that before. And I would be able to go, actually, that's not a penalty. He's kicked the back of the player. The player hasn't made a challenge. He's kicked the back of him. He's fallen over. And yet two referees looked at that and still decided, yeah, that's a penalty. And that, for me, is not good enough.
So that could be an improvement to VAR, having that former pro.
I think so, but I think the referees are way too arrogant to actually let an outsider in on their little due process, their little club that they've got going.
100% agree with that. And that's another issue, that when a referee has made a decision and it's gone to VAR, largely the VAR referee has looked at it and has agreed with the original decision by the referee rather than overturning it. And what annoys supporters, or it certainly annoys me, is why can't the referee go to the pitch side monitor and have a second look himself?
Yeah, I mean, one of the arguments for that was before VAR came in, one of the arguments from fans is, we don't want the refs going to monitors all the time, it will slow the game down. And that was one of the things that the PGMOL didn't want to do. They don't want to, and the Premier League as well, don't want to slow the game down. But as it's become clear during the season that there are some incidents where the referee should be going to have a look at the monitor just to have another little look at it. And I think that would probably work better than the official back at Stockley Park making the final decision.
Now, we've got an international break coming up shortly. Should they have a look at it again and change it this season? Or should they say, look, we've started, so we'll finish, and we can only then bring in different rulings and different ways that we look at VAR next season and not this season? What's your take on that?
Well, I think there's already been a major shift in what's been going on. So I think they can tweak it during the season. I think last weekend showed that they were, way more inclined to overturn some decisions because they'd taken a lot of criticism for not overturning decisions. And last weekend, I thought they actually, there was some clear directive that said, guys, we've got to start changing some things here. And perhaps you might argue that they even went a little bit too far in overturning some of the decisions, and the high bar just got lowered a little bit too low. And it's just trying to find that happy medium of where they see decisions that are clear and obvious, and those that should just be run-of-the-mill challenges that aren't actually free kicks, and get on with the game.
Would it be fair to say the game that you was looking at on Saturday, on Soccer Saturday, come into that bracket where
Very much so.
exactly, and again, as a player, you would look at that completely different to the referee, because the referee didn't see it, or if he did see it, he didn't see it as a penalty.
No, I don't think the referee saw it
Yeah,
first and foremost, and then because he hadn't seen it, the VAR then looked at it and just went, well, he's trod on his foot. That's a foul.
yeah,
He's trod on his ankle. I don't think they took into consideration uh, where the proximity of the ball was, whether there was whether it was any intent in it, whether it actually affected the game at all.
yeah.
But I sat there and I just knew, I just had a feeling, because they'd looked at it so many times, I had a
Yeah.
feeling that they were going to give a penalty, and that's why I said they're going to give a penalty here. I then spoke to Mark Halsey, former Premier League referee, the day after, and got his opinion on it. And he was very much of the opinion that it should not be a penalty.
Again, that's the thing, isn't it? That VAR is only an opinion, so it's another
Yeah,
referee
yeah,
re-refereeing the game that the referee is refereeing.
absolutely.
What's it like in the studio where you can hear one of you go, goal! And then you go straight to them, and there's a goal being scored. Hang on a minute. VAR, it's been disallowed. Now, in the studio, and for fans that are watching at home in live games, you get that instant, oh, is it a goal? Isn't it a goal? And it adds to a little bit of the entertainment. But as the fan that's paying their money to watch their team and watching their goal being disallowed, then the away supporters or the home supporters jumping up and down celebrating a non-goal, it is a surreal experience for me as a fan.
It is, and I think it's something that you're just going to have to get used to. It
Yeah,
does. It just adds another layer of drama. And what it does do, especially for my team so far this season, when a team do score a goal against you, you've still got that hope that somewhere it might have been a little bit offside and you could perhaps stay in this game. And so I think it adds to the drama of the game, to be honest. But watching a game of football as a fan, I watch a game of football and I kind of know if there's anything untoward that's happened with the goal, or a possible offside. You see things that are quite tight, and you'll call it and go, oh, there's a chance that might be offside. So you kind of know really if there's going to be something that might just be disallowed. Otherwise, if you see a decent goal, if someone sticks in the top corner from 25 yards, you're still going to celebrate the same.
And is it taking away that moment from the fans? Because I was down Villa Park. I've been down Villa Park twice. I'm keeping it quiet because I'm a Blues supporter. But I was there for the Burnley game and for the Brighton game. And certainly when Jack Grealish scored the second goal, there was Villa fans actually not celebrating it until Brighton kicked off. It seems to be taking away that experience, that elation from the fan.
I haven't really seen that, if
Yeah,
I'm honest. Every time I see a goal scored in the Premier League, I just see the fans go nuts.
yeah.
And I haven't really seen. I mean, Matt Targett scores the winner in the last minute, week before last, and the whole place explodes. I don't see a single person in the crowd going, "Oh, I ain't celebrating yet," just in case he gets disallowed. Why wouldn't you just celebrate the goal? And you know what? If he gets disallowed, tough luck, and you take a bit of ribbon from the opposition fans. Get on with it.
How would you feel as a player when you've scored a worldie and someone's been in an offside position and the referee then has disallowed it on a technicality? And I'm guessing here a little bit, although it wasn't a worldie, the Kevin De Bruyne and the second phase of play.
I'll be honest. Hand on my heart.
Yeah,
If there's an infringement that's taking place, and the goal gets chalked off, fair enough. You
yeah,
know what? That's life.
yeah.
You'll get them go for you as well, because you'll have goals scored against you where you think, we're 1-0 down, and they go, well, actually there was an offside there, so it's still 0-0, and you go, thank God for that, happy days. But if you're going to take that one, you've got to be able to take it on the chin the other way around as well.
So I guess what you're saying is you've got to take the rough with the smooth.
Very much so, mate. Very much so.
And with the international break just round the corner, finally, I've got to ask you about England. We've always tended to not pick our flair players. You being one of them, you only had 8 caps, unbelievably had 8 caps, where players like Colton Palmer, for instance, got many more, which I find absolutely unbelievable. Even in 1998, when you didn't go, we had a midfield, like centre midfield of Batty and Ince, where there's no creativity. In the 70s, it was started with Revy, when he decided that all our Maverick players didn't fit into his plan. Now, let's roll it forward to today. 2 players, in my opinion, who I would have in the England team would be James Maddison and Jack Grealish. What's your take on both of those players? And firstly, with Maddison, when he pulled out, he was in a casino. I looked at that, and I do a regular podcast with Terry Curran and Alan Hudson as well, and both are of the opinion that absolutely rubbish. He might have only been going in there to have a bite to eat.
Yeah, I mean it's a difficult one, because I think if he'd have been injured, he'd have had a muscle injury, a slight groin strain or something, then I think well, it doesn't really matter. He's if he wants to go out for a bite to eat and a little gamble, that's fine. I think the issue was probably because it was because of illness, wasn't it? If you pull out of a squad through illness, really what you should be doing is going home and getting your feet up and making sure that you recover properly at home and get your best chance to recover. I think the accusation will be, well, he couldn't have been that ill, he's gone out. So from that point of view, I think it probably wasn't the best thing for him to do. And I think he will get his chance. And I also think that if Jack continues to play the way he is, I think it will be impossible to leave him out the squad. I know he's injured for his at the moment he's on his calf, isn't he?
Yeah.
So a little bit unfortunate time for him, but I think he continues to play the way he is. I'd be very surprised if he wasn't capped before the spring comes around.
When I look at players, I like to look at players that can do things that excite me, and Jack Grealish is the one midfield player in the country, in my opinion, who can do things with the ball. He plays off the cuff. He almost invites that challenge into the last minute, plays it, goes again. He's a kind of player, again, in my opinion, that if England are going to get deep into competitions, we need players like Jack, like we needed players like you and Gaza and Huddy in the England team. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'd agree with that 100%. I think that's the sometimes the one thing, we're quite well organised and we do all right, but you do need those players in those final phases of tournaments to be able to unlock top quality defences, and Jack's certainly one of those type of players for me.
And Soccer Saturday, what game are you looking at today? It's not Villa and on Saturday. It's not Villa and Liverpool, is it, by any chance?
I won't know until tomorrow. In fact, I won't know tomorrow because I'm not on Saturday.
Oh right, okay.
I'm off this weekend. I'm heading over to Italy tomorrow to do our next bit of filming for Harry's Heroes 2.
Oh, lovely. And how was that going?
Yeah, all good, thanks. Yeah, all good. We did 6 days out in France last week. We've got 6 days in Italy and then 6 days in Germany coming up at the end of November.
It all sounds fantastic. Can I wish you all the very best, Matt? And love to the family and good luck with everything. And when them idiots on Twitter keep trolling, and I think you should write a book. Le Tissier's tweets, or the tweets of Tiz, because I think it would be a bestseller for Christmas, mate. You have some right idiots that troll you.
Oh, thanks. No, it's all good fun. All taken in jest, and certainly I don't take life that seriously to worry about things that happen on Twitter.
Absolutely hysterical responses from you, Matt. I absolutely love watching you. You're not on Facebook, are you? You got any?
No, I'm not on Facebook. No,
I
just do the Twitter. Keep it simple.
Well, enjoy Italy, enjoy the Harry's Heroes and everything, and Soccer Saturday. Give that all our best to all the guys, Jeff and the lads over there. And thank you very much for your time, sir.
Pleasure, mate.
Cheers, Matt. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
SRBMedia.